Hope you're all okay and well. So, these lie detectors, it sounds like they was done a different way to the normal way they are normally done. So Daniel was not lying in his CBC interview about the strange way the test started and the questions. And I don't know a lot about lie detectors, but somebody said to me, can somebody pass a lie detector test if they believe their own lies? And I said, I don't know, but I do know something's not right with all this new information. If you are enjoying my videos and you have not yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe and help me get to the big 1000 before the end of the year. Plus, you don't want to miss any of my videos. I have a lot of good plans for this new channel's future, and I want you all to be part of the channel from the very start. Today's video clip is Darin Geddes on Sonny's channel, It's a Crime and Shame, so please go and show your support to It's a Crime and Shame. And the two drone clips come from the YouTube channel TINT, so please also go and show TINT your love and support. And I have just been sat listening to this video you're about to watch, and well, you just listen. But these videos are perfect timing with the RCMP information we have all received this week. I do wonder what Darren is thinking right now.
With Justin, I think it was just that he was cutting in and out so much, and
Yeah.
Justin was trying to get answers.
I can see that, Kent. I can see that.
You guys, so Darren, you obviously said your name and you said why, and
yes, I don't give a shit. They can know my name if they want. My name's Darren. So D-R-I-N.
yeah, when I seen someone put it in chat,
Darren.
I'm like, someone said you were on Dolly. Yeah. Yeah.
Drive
So-
volume up with DREWOOD, please.
Yes, please.
Very happy right now.
Okay, hold 1 second. 1 second. Because I'm holding it the same way I did. Darren, just do me a favor. Just say test 1, 2, 3 for me, so make sure everyone can hear you.
Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3.
That's better.
Okay,
It's
perfect.
better, but it can be louder.
And I'm from Nova Scotia. I can even go up to 10 if you want.
That's good.
One
Only if you
second.
tell us some more jokes there, Darren. That was a good one.
East Coast.
Okay, so you said you're very happy. Which
Yes, I'm extremely happy. I had a hell of a good second part of this day. Really good.
okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now listen, you guys. You can believe this or not, but I'm done. I'm finished with this. I rode it to the end, and I'll tell you why. I never succeeded in bringing the kids back to us, but that wasn't going to happen anyway because CPS is not going to give those kids back when we find them. They're not going to give those kids back to us anyway, to the family anyway. They're, with all that's gone on, there's no way. Do you guys think so? And with Meadow, I mean, I don't think Malehya is ever going to get Meadow again. And so, but I'll tell you why I'm not happy about some of that. But I'll tell you what I found out later today. Okay, I had a real good. The person I needed to see later this afternoon. I got to them. Oh boy, and I can't say who they are, and I can't really say.
That's fine.
And I can't really say what they told me, but it's ironclad. It's 1,000% true. Okay, I know exactly what happened to the kids. The kids are alive. The kids are probably not in Nova Scotia now. But the kids are safe. The kids are being taken care of by, I'm sure, by Malehya's native people. They're alive, and I'm probably, my goal in this was, I said, my number one goal, if we could get those kids back alive, that would have been it. But knowing what I found out today through CPS, and the information that I found out from this person, and believe me, it's ironclad. It's 1,000%. The kids are alive, and somebody has them that's taking care of them. Meadow is in custody of CPS, and they're going to decide where Meadow goes. And I have no control over that. And if Logan could get temporary custody or permanent custody of Meadow, I would be happy with that. And I talked to well, I can't say that. Let's just say I recommended Logan to the proper people to have Meadow. Now, Jack and Lilly, I'm telling you, they're alive, and I'm sure they're being protected by the Native community. Probably not the Native community in Shubenacadie. And they may not even be in Canada. Now, that's what I know, and there's a big difference between what I know and what I think. So I just told you what I know, and if I tell you what I think, it's probably wrong.
I'm online, Mom.
Wait.
What's that?
No, sorry. That was
No,
Ken.
go ahead.
Mute yourself.
So that's all I got right at this point. If you people ask me what I think, I might be wrong, but I'm telling you, I'm not wrong about what I said so far.
So just to confirm, so you said it's 1,000% ironclad that these children are alive.
Yep.
Jack
And
and
if I
Lilly.
turn out to be wrong, the source that informed me this afternoon, then I'll fully expose it to show people why I said I'm 1,000% right.
Okay, right.
Okay? But the only way I'll expose that is if I do turn out to be wrong.
Okay.
Because this source is very important, very in the know, very heavy, right in the middle of everything. And I almost said a he or she, and I'm not going to do that. They know everything that happened right from start to finish. I double checked it with other people, other witnesses, other sources, and they have not been on any kind of publicity. They have not been on any kind of interview. They have not been on any kind of anything.
Okay. So.
And they have a good reason for that, by the way. So
Mm-hmm.
I hope this makes it makes me feel hellish good.
Well, obviously, we want Jack and Lilly, we want them regardless. We want to know that they're fine, that they're alive, that they're not dead, that they're and stuff like that. So, in your heart of hearts, do you believe this to be true?
1,000%.
1,000.
I'll tell you. If you want me to try to prove more of the genuineness of what I'm saying, you people out there, my name is Darren. My first name, my real name is Darin. My last name is Geddes, Geddes. I'm a Stellarton rat. I was born in Stellarton. I live in Trenton. I'm related to Patty Allen and the people, my family in Toro. I know the Mackenzie boys, James, Alvin, Earl, Daniel's father. I haven't known Earl. I only spotted him once. I've seen him a few times, but I've known James and Alvin and the rest of them for years. And
what?
I'm telling you that's the deal. So believe me or not, you guys, I know it's the internet, and but I just told you my real name. And anybody who wants to call me down or say I'm a liar or make excuses that they think they know that I'm wrong, go ahead. Feel free. Fill your boots. Go ahead.
Well, can I ask you a couple questions? Or
you can ask me anything you want. If I can answer,
right.
I'll sure be glad to.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, of course. So, Darren, like I said, people know exactly who you are. Your name is Darin Geddes on there. So my thing is this. If you're 1,000% and this person has told you, why is the RCMP, why is this case not been solved in RCMP and the $150,000 put up? So that doesn't.
Because I think the RCMP are centered on one person, and I think they're centered on the wrong person, and they need two bodies to charge this person, and they can't find two bodies.
Okay. Lauren wants to ask you a question.
Listen, my friend is looking at me right now. She wants me to be done with this, and I told her I was going to have one more little go with this here to let you guys, to inform you guys. So I'm actually so thankful that I know what I know, and I'm actually so thankful that there's nothing else I can do. I can't bring those kids back here. I can't dictate who Meadow goes with. So I'm just relieved to have it off my back, because to tell you the truth, it's been pretty goddamn heavy for a while.
Yeah. Can Lauren ask you a question by chance, Darren?
You guys can ask me any goddamn thing,
Oh.
but I'll tell you, I don't want to be on here too long.
Don't worry.
Because the people right close to me here are upset that I'm drawing attention to my family.
Yeah.
And they don't want me to draw more attention to my family much longer. So I'm very glad that this came when it did.
Yeah.
That I can put an end to this for myself and my family. And I'm so glad that the kids are alive. So yeah,
Sure.
Lauren or whoever wants to ask me anything, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, Darren, don't even worry about it. It's not even so much of a question. Me personally, I absolutely believe you. I am worried. I'm afraid to believe that the kids are alive in case they are not. But I do believe what you're saying. I just wanted to say, it's not even a question though. I just wanted to say, in the United States on the reservations, I know in the United States on the reservations, it becomes a very tricky thing, because they literally cannot, law enforcement cannot enter in. And I don't know this for a fact, I have to look at it specifically, but from my understanding, the reservations in the States are run differently than they are in Canada, and the local police do not have jurisdiction on the reservations. I just wanted to point that out. So in case for some reason they were brought over here, it may be because...
And I want to inform you, yeah, it is different in Canada. The RCMP have full jurisdiction on the reservations as well. If it's a civil matter, the RCMP have to advise the authorities on the reservation before they go in, and they have to go in with the authorities on the reservation, sort of with their permission and cooperation. But in Canada, the RCMP have the ultimate authority to go into the reservations here in Canada.
And from my understanding, and this is a very loose understanding, it gets really complicated in a lot of these rural areas because the jurisdiction does change so quickly, and that is how a lot of First Nations people do go missing and under the radar and that type of thing here in the U.S. because of those kind of laws. Now, I definitely have to fact check it, but yeah. So I didn't have a question, Darren. I just wanted to say that if they are here, it might be because. Oh, go ahead, Sonny.
No, because I know he wants to get going because he doesn't want to be on.
I'm going to put this on speakerphone, see if I can hear you better.
Sure. I just wanted to go to Charmaine. Charmaine, did you have a question for Darren?
There we go. What's this?
Let's see. I'm asking Charmaine. No? Okay.
I do not. I have many for you later, but no, I do not.
Okay. Kent, do you have 1 second? Sorry. Darlene, thank you. 1 second, Darren. 1 second.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks. Thanks, Darlene. Thank you so much. Okay, Kent, did you have a question for Darren before we let him go? Kent? Let me unmute you, Kent.
You're mute. Yeah.
Am I muted?
Oh my God, yes, but you're very loud. Okay, 1 second. Yeah. What? Do you have a question for Darren?
Yes, Darren. I would like to know if you think that the RCMP will be able to move forward on this with this information. If they get it from somebody, will they be able to move forward and at least tell the general public, listen, we know where the kids are. We won't be saying anything more. We know the kids are safe, and go from there. Do you think that will happen?
I definitely think that'll happen.
Okay.
That'll happen. But, I'm not very good to the RCMP, am I? As far as I'm concerned, they're stupid and they're slow, but they'll get there. They'll get there. And one thing about it is, I'm not going to give them any of the information I know, because I had to make a trade today. I had to make a trade today for the information I got, and the trade for the information was I never reveal what was given to me this afternoon. So I might be in some shit here, but oh well, too bad. I've been in shit before, I'll be in shit again.
Facebook.
Listen,
yeah, go ahead, Darren.
I'm just so relieved. I really, for myself, I'm just so Man, I found this pretty rugged the last month. I've had to deal with some pretty nasty people. And when I was younger, I could be pretty nasty. So it wasn't new to me, but it wasn't welcome to me. I'm too old, and I'm kind of a chicken nowadays. I like to steer away from stuff.
Now you do realize that the information that you just said is going to be like such a pot stir, because obviously we're going to have this case being still not saying anything from the RCMP. There's no conclusion besides you saying that 100% clad that this is true. But so you know that you just stirred the pot a lot more, yeah?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care. My goal all along has been to find out if those kids were alive or not.
Yeah.
And my second, I was shooting for the gold medal to start off with. I'm stubborn, and I had in my head that if I pushed this hard enough, I could get those kids back. But then once CPS and that got involved, and once that all flew to hell, and then it got out of my control. That's why I was sickened yesterday and the day before, because I came up. Malehya was going to talk to me. Malehya was going to,
right.
and Malehya had one piece of information I needed to verify, just to finish off what happened. And the piece of information that I needed from her, it was directly connected to the vehicle on the side of the road. And nobody else could know that information but Malehya, because she was the only one there at that time. So it had to be Malehya to open that door for me. And she was willing to open that door for me, but I contacted her through her brother. And her brother initially didn't. It took me some time to gain his trust.
Right, Hayden.
Yeah, and I had to convince him that I was doing, and I was trying to do something good for Malehya. I wanted to get her out of shit out of this trouble before it went too far. But when she took off for the reservation from Cindy's place, that took it totally out of my hands as far as Meadow and her goes, because then that opened up the door for them to take Meadow, but it also opened up the door for the RCMP to use a lot of leverage on her. Now, I still don't think Malehya is going to tell the RCMP what I needed to know about the vehicle, about the train. Malehya's main goal in her mind in all this is to protect the kids.
Right.
Now, she did it the wrong way. She did it a stupid way. But Malehya was under pressure. And okay, and here's a theoretical thing for you, okay? And you know who it's coming from, so it's fully idiocy, put it that way. I picture this, okay? Picture this. Malehya's a young girl. She's very mild-mannered, very impressionable, and she's had a rough go of it. Not so much with Daniel. Their relationship was a lot better than the relationship they had before. She had a really rough go of it. As far as I'm concerned, she had some damage, she had some PTSD, she had depression, and she probably had postpartum depression. I can't diagnose because I'm a man, but she definitely had some issues, and she was easily upset. She was easy to put into fear because she had a panic sort of thing that if anybody even yelled, I believe Malehya sort of went panic, you know what I mean? Shut down, panicked. That's why her interview was so bad. Her initial and only interview to the public was so bad. She was scared shitless. She was froze right up. But in the end, Malehya, and that's why Malehya had a few close friends and a few semi-family members that were with her. Now, here's the theory, okay? Now, you can take this. It's not a theory to me, but everybody else, please take it as a theory so that you can't come back at me and say, no, you lied or you're full of shit. I mean, they'll say it anyway, but I don't really care. You picture a young girl in her situation, okay, that wanted out of there, that was looking at it like she just couldn't stand the situation anymore. She just wanted to change her life, okay? But yet she's very soft, very mild-mannered, not aggressive, no real power, no real ability to walk out of that totally herself. Okay, and then she reached out to family with her complaints, and she had some friends around her that were her age that were semi-related. By semi-related, I mean to in my family and in her heritage, they had a couple different fathers, like stepfathers, and then the native thing came into it, stuff like that. So she had some girls, and they were all girls. I want you to think about a group of young girls trying to get their friend out of trouble.
Okay.
And how stupid they can be, and the young boys can be just as stupid or worse. But I want you to think that Malehya was scared, hellish scared, okay? And maybe she had a right to be scared. But I think in a normal situation, if she would have been a normal person, I think she would have still been very, frightful a little bit, but she wouldn't be frightful to the point of panic and terror attacks. You know what I mean? So I think amongst her friends, some of them coordinated and took it upon themselves to help their friend. And they did it in a very stupid way. If they'd have talked to an old idiot like myself, we might have been able to give them a better way to do that, because what they feared we could have protected her from right off the bat would have been no problem to protect her what she was scared of. And I believe if she would have done it that way and she wanted to separate and walk out, she could have walked out with her kids. She could have walked out peacefully. We could have drove her and taken her to, like, some of my relatives have a good life, and we could have parked her in there, and some of us would have protected her and watched out for her, and her people would have protected her, helped her financially, would have helped her with the kids, and we could have brought her right along back into a life where she wouldn't have to be scared and she'd be protected. Now, as I've explained, I couldn't get her there. I couldn't do that. And some of it was time, because don't forget, I had to judge my relatives just the same as I had to judge Daniel's family. And when I judged it, I looked at my relatives, who I know a little better than Daniel's family, quite a bit better, and the characteristics of them. And so it struck me, it took me a long time, because Malehya shut down, you see. Actually, the Mackenzies and Daniel and another person on that side Logan never shut down on me. She gave me information and helped me. And I helped her, because we were helping each other to try to figure these kids out. Logan wanted these kids brutal. I mean, she's still trying to get Meadow. So,
but it doesn't. It's Darren, and don't get me wrong, because I'm totally appreciating anything.
I don't get you wrong. I'm excited. I'm probably Brett.
Good. Now, I know Lauren. She's eagerly waiting to ask you something. Go ahead, Lauren.
Oh, you actually answered what I was going to ask. Was like, honestly, just to be clear, that this really sprang this much out of control from Malehya making that one poor decision on that morning. But I guess you're explaining how this could have possibly spiraled into such a big thing. And yeah, that's all I wanted to know.
Okay. So
you listen to Daniel's testimony about that morning. Mm-hmm. Okay? Listen to that again. And listen to what he says about you just listen to his testimony about what he says. How can I say this? Because my source, I can't say something that's good. I made a deadly promise to keep this person out of this.
Yeah.
Look at Daniel's testimony again about what really happened that morning. And okay, Sonny, I mentioned to you before this about possibly the plan that Malehya had to get out of there. And I mentioned to you how it sort of got half uncovered, how it sort of botched up that morning
right.
Okay, that Daniel's mother was in the camper and they didn't think she was home. Okay? So that's what threw Malehya's plan into total shit, because early in the morning on that side of the road there was somebody there that, Daniel's mother naturally, and Daniel said this, read this, I got a lot of this from Daniel, but I also corroborated it 3 different ways. Now, Daniel made a lot of mistakes himself in his testimony. He's changed it all the time, and it's totally up to you guys. I'm not protecting Daniel anymore. I'm leaving that all up to other people. I'm leaving that up to the RCMP. I'm leaving that up to, I don't care, your viewers, whoever wants to. Daniel and I are friends. And until he does something that, if he does something that makes me not his friend, well, then we'll not be friends. But, and I don't believe I believe Daniel's not totally faultless in relationship issues. Okay? What went on in between Daniel's relationship and Malehya's relationship, that's not there's no man has a right, if they're living together and they're trying to get along, no matter what is happening, there's nobody has the right to step in between them until somebody cries for help. So that's my position on that. Now, so as far as any kind of abuse or drug use or stuff like that, that's not my business. Malehya and Daniel lived together, so anything they did together as a couple and kept it private, it's nobody's business but theirs, because they decided to be together and be private. But this thing here, as soon as this happened, this boff-up happened, well, then it went from being private to public, because once those kids were needed to be found and needed to be searched for, well, then it turned out to everybody's business, because everybody needed to look for those kids. So then it wasn't just Daniel's business and Malehya's business as a relationship. It was a serious goddamn issue to try to save the lives of these two kids.
So, Darren, just to ask you though, because like, obviously what's kind of running through my mind, and probably
I know what's running through your mind. Go ahead.
Well, I mean,
and Paul, what's her name? Your friend, the second one down. What's her name?
Charmaine.
Charmaine. I know what's running through Charmaine's mind. She's probably ready to shoot me. But go ahead.
Well, no. What's so obviously?
Just one sec. Absolutely not, Darwin. I appreciate your candor and your time that you spend to come on here and tell us your information. I do not want to shoot you. I applaud you, even if I don't agree with you. I have to pee. I'll be right back.
I lied some to you guys, and through this, I lied to you guys, and I lied to some of your viewers, and I'll tell you why. Because there was information I needed to take my next step, and I had the choice of either lying. Now, don't forget, my relatives and the Mackenzies and a lot of people are watching everything I said on here. So to get a reaction out of them, I had the choice. I wanted them to get a message. And some of the lies I said were to get them to trust me, right? And so I had the choice. If I had to lie to get this person that was involved in this to trust me so that I could get information that I needed to get close to those kids, I'll lie 10 times.
Right.
Okay? Because it was important enough to lie over. So I apologize to people that there probably are some of your viewers. There's a lot of smart people. You know, there are some very intelligent, intuitive people, and some of them I even think caught the lies and recognized the lies, but the majority never. And the members of my family that I lied to get through this, and other people that I lied to get through this, I just want them to realize that I lied to them to get information to get as far as I got to find out about these kids, and I don't regret it for a minute.
Do you want me to say what you said to me this morning about that?
No.
I don't mean that part.
I'll tell you why. Because with the information I found out this afternoon, I'll tell you people what I did. I was worried today. Like I said, I came up against a dead end. And I was worried today that my view on this had seriously changed over one issue. And I'll tell you, let me see. Can I tell you what the issue was?
Can you?
Okay. I had started to seriously wonder about Daniel. Okay? I started to seriously, before I was all through this, I'd find out information about Daniel that led me to him, but then something else would lead me away from him. And then I'd find out information that would lead me to Malehya and her friends, but then it would steer away. So it was like back and forth. And gradually I just cut things down. Now here's what really pissed me off, okay, today, what really got me going. When Daniel told me, now I'm telling you what Daniel testified to himself. He testified to it in the interviews, and he testified to it directly to me numerous times. He testified to it to Logan. He testified to it to everybody. Daniel's claim was that on the morning this happened, he got up, realizing the kids were gone. He went outside, him and Malehya went outside, and Malehya was kind of stunned and looking guilty. And Daniel said, well, where's the kids? And she said, they're gone. And he said, well, where are they gone? Where are the kids? And how long have they been gone? And she said, 20 minutes. First he said, like, where are they? And she said she thought they were in the woods. So Daniel, in the 30 seconds he talked about the first that he was in the woods, and everybody said, oh, Jesus, how would he go all around the country in 30 seconds? No, it was two different times. They got a little cabin beside the house that the kids play in. Actually, there's two. If you go halfway down the driveway and then left up over the shoulder of the driveway and then back towards the trailer, there's a little half-arse log cabin that somebody made for them, and it's like a playhouse for the kids.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay? And then there's another little one behind that's cut out from underneath a tree where they go up, and there was toys scattered in there and that. So Daniel's first thought was they're up in the cabin or they're in the playhouse. So this is where he ran down the driveway, ran up over the little bank up in by the cabin, and he did the whole circle in under 30 seconds. By then his mother was out looking for the kids. So then Daniel said to Malehya, well, where are the kids? And she, somewhere along the line, he got the idea that she was saying they were in the woods. So he grabbed the truck, having already looked at the edge of the property there where the cabin that was, and his mother was there. So his mother headed up through the woods by foot over to the other roads, over to the intersection of the other two roads, because the boot print they found was right on the edge of the bank, and it looked like it was pointing up over the side of the it looked like it was heading up over the bank into the woods. So his mother went searching for the kids up in the woods by foot, while Daniel grabbed his van or truck and went out the driveway and then circled around the roads, and his mother went right through, and they pretty well met over on the other side. So then that wasn't, see, it was two searches, the 30-second search by foot first by Daniel, and then it was into the woods, right? So by the time Daniel gets back, the Mounties said, now the story, and this is true because my sources verify even this conversation. When Daniel got back after the 30-second search, Malehya looked at him kind of stunned and said, well, should I call the cops? And Dan's exact words were, yes, call the fucking cops. That was his exact words. She called the cops. Daniel took his truck and went looking around the roads for the kids because he had already checked beside the place. His mother was heading up through the woods following the direction of this track, and she was going by foot through the woods, searching through the woods. And by the time Daniel came back, the Mounties were very close. By the time Daniel, and I even checked the timeline 3 or 4 different ways. It was 16 minutes later from the time that Malehya called the cops that the Mounties landed. So this is how fast this happened, because they were up the road investigating another thing when they got the call. So it was only 16 minutes before the Mounties landed, which is goddamn fast. So then Malehya started talking abduction. She changed her story and started talking abduction. Then she started, there's where she made a mistake. She was in panic mode, and first she said the woods, then she said abduction. And that threw the cops into a totally other manner. So then they started looking at search. And then the cops did a good job that way immediately. They looked around themselves as much as they could quickly, and they were counting that they needed to move fast because in these cases, apparently, the first few hours are very important because I guess the kids can't travel that far, in a few hours. So anyway, then immediately they went getting searchers and dogs out there, right? So things escalated. So by the time Malehya even had a chance to calm down and get her wits about her, things had escalated so fast and so big that she couldn't back out. Then in her mind, she couldn't change her story. So she got grilled from they're in the woods, they went through the back door, the quiet back door, which wasn't that quiet, and then, like I said, then it escalated so fast that she, now think about Malehya, think about how much shape mentally she was in, and think about how scared she was. And then when you got hundreds of people landed in there with cops and dogs and all this going on. Helicopters landing. The helicopters swept the road too, see, so the helicopters there in minutes. So you've got the cops landing in 16 minutes. You've got all right, there's 12 minutes. Okay,
Yeah.
now this is very curious to me, and I checked it out. Cindy, they must have been on their way to visit them or something. But Malehya called her mother, of course, and said, Jesus, the kids are missing.
Right.
And, okay, now I don't know why. I mean, she probably was just trying to make it. I don't know why she'd do that way, but
Right.
I don't think her mind would be predictable at that point. And anyway, it was only 12 minutes after the cops got there. So it was 16 minutes from the time she initially called the cops till the Mounties got there. Then it was 12 minutes after that Cindy's mother and Cindy's living husband landed. So that's 28 minutes. So see, this is one thing that bugged me. This is why I thought Cindy's in on this. Because initially I thought my relatives, I hated to think it, but I thought Cindy's got to be in on this because Cindy lives in Wentworth. And it takes a hell of a lot longer to get from Wentworth to Lansdowne than 28 minutes. So then another thing that I found out today, you see, from this really, really good witness, and if they're watching this, I'm going to uphold my promise to you, and thank you so much. Thank you so much. Because you did a lot. You really did a lot. And you're taking a chance on me, and I won't let you down. So, see, what confused me, too, about Cindy and her husband being there so quick from Wentworth was I took for granted that Patty was with them and landed at the same time. So I thought this might be a collusion between my family because there's no way could Patty get from Truro with them, right? But then I found out today, no, it was separate. They got there in 28 minutes, which I was still curious about, but Patty took her own car and landed for near an hour later.
Okay.
So that straightened that out for me, see? And so that cleared me of Patty, and I talked to Patty, and I checked on Patty, and Patty's lovely. And the Mackenzies love Patty, everybody loves Patty. So that timeline, I was still very curious about Cindy. And I came to realize that was just a fluke. They were on the way to visit anyway.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So that's the way that initially went down. So and Melissa and what else can I say? Like, what else can I say?
Well,
you tell me what else I can say.
Yeah.
Because that's the way it went down.
Okay, so just things are rambling through my head here, but quickly. Did we ever find out what day Daniel actually works on during the week? Mondays. Okay, perfect. Now
I found that out for you today too. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And what I was going to ask you before was only the fact that you said to take down your name so that when you said that you had to ask people to forgive you for lying, that's the only thing I was going to say about that earlier. I wasn't going to say anything about Daniel or anything like that. It was just simply that you had called me this morning to tell me to take down your name, so that when you wanted to come out and say something. And so I was just kind of confirming to people what you had said to me this morning about.
Well, I'll explain to you why I did that this morning, okay?
Sure.
I explained, I don't know if I explained to you at the time. I wanted that information. At the time, I was 90% sure that what I was telling you was correct.
Right.
But I was going to see some people
Right.
about this that I wasn't sure I'd be coming back from.
Right. Oh.
So if I never came back, I wanted somebody to be able to say, this is what he thought when he went to do this. And if he went to do this and I ended up not coming back,
Right.
then that would give you a good, strong trail to follow as to maybe
what happened.
Yeah.
Your errands.
So the people I went to see, I never expected this, you see. I expected a different thing altogether.
Different outcome. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I went to see these people, and
but what? Darren,
and that's why things changed on that. That's why things changed in the circumstances that I told you on that letter.
Yeah.
Things changed a lot. So that's not total. That's not even near totally accurate. It might be 50% accurate. But I'll tell you this. I will tell you this, guys. In the end result, if Daniel was guilty of and being involved in the disappearance of these kids, the kids would have definitely been dead. No two ways about it. If Daniel was guilty of that, they would definitely be dead. If Daniel was innocent of that, and I'm only talking about the removal of the kids. I'm not talking about their life together. I'm only talking about the disappearance of the kids, okay? If Daniel had no direct involvement with the disappearance of the kids, then I knew the kids were going to be alive.
Right, which you said.
Because Malehya was not going to have the kids killed or seriously harmed, okay? And at the beginning of this, and even this morning, I wasn't sure about Daniel, but I'm sure now. So Daniel still got a lot of answering to do.
Yeah.
And so and there you go. That's what I got.
So I do like what I'm torn here about is, and again, one second, Darren. For anyone in chat, again, you can take it with a grain of salt. Be respectful in chat to regardless what Darren is saying. We're not here to be, you can have your opinions for sure, but just say it in a respectful way. At the end of the day, this is information, regardless how you want to take it, of information you didn't have, say, 30 minutes ago or whatever. So use your own brain cells.
I hope I'm not being disrespectful.
No, you're not. No. But the thing is, what you've caused is this is going to implode, explode, whatever. Because I think, Darren, one of the definite questions here is people want to know, there's been hundreds of probably $1,000s of search money being used.
And somebody's going to have to answer for that.
Right. Okay. And so.
And I've already. The cops know about that, and so that's another thing I'm happy about. That's all out of my hands.
Right.
And everything is in Child Protection Services' hands. It's their authority. It's their problem. As far as the expenses, as far as the cops know everything. The cops know it all. So, and the justice system knows it all. So that's up to them to work that through. Yeah. And if they punish Malehya financially or Daniel financially or anything else, that's totally up to them. And hey. You got to pay for your mistakes too, I guess, in this life.
So now, what I know, I don't know if you can say it or not, but what would have been the purpose to keep this ongoing? What would have created something to go from, say, a small lie to this humongous thing where everyone across the country, world, whatever, is covering this case, and yet you found out information 100% ironclad according to you, right? Because that's how you feel, and then you're happy with that answer, and I get that. But why would this lie continue? What was the kids put in such protection for?
Fear, Malehya's fear. Listen.
Yeah.
When as the publicity started, and it started so fast, as all the stories started on the internet, as all the stories started on television, as all the speculation. I mean, right off the bat, people were saying, "Oh, they're no good murderers. They sold the kids for drugs. Daniel sold the kids for drugs. He sold them for sex slaves, and all the shit that people were saying." Malehya was watching this. And it just scared her more and more and more and more. So it got built up. Really, publicity built it up. Publicity built it up to the point where, and then see, relatives, the natives and that wanted to protect the kids, and that was the only place. In the end, that was the only place that Malehya felt like. This is what I believe. Now, that was the only place. It's a foreign nation. They're a sovereign nation. And that was the only place. And she was getting advice. See, her relatives are native. Don't forget that very closely, right? Mm-hmm. So she was getting advice right off the start from some native relatives about the legalities of the reservations and about the what rights native people have and how things work on the reserves. So it got built up so big because it happened so fast. And so many people speculating and claiming, "Oh, I know this and I know that." And Malehya's sitting there there's people sitting there reading like these chats and reading these comments and that,
Yeah.
and these people are calling them like child traffickers, child molesters, child killers, baby killers, and threatening them. Like,
Yeah.
these people have gotten a lot of death. I've got some pretty nice little ones.
Yeah.
These people have gotten a lot of death threats. Like, Jesus Christ! So you got a little girl that made a bad mistake and some stupid mistakes, and she's getting scared shitless more every day.
Right.
And that's how it got so big. People made it big. We made it big.
Well,
Now, if you know, I never made this big up until I came to a dead end. And I realized the only way I was going to get information, because there was people that pretty well refused to talk to me at all about it, and the only way I was going to get a message through to these people was to go online, Now, you know I'm a technical dinosaur, so it scared me.
yeah, I get it.
Because Jesus Christ, I can barely use Facebook. This is a flip phone. I can dial it and call somebody, and somebody can call me, but I don't even know how to text on this goddamn thing.
I know.
So you had to help me for half an hour to get onto your goddamn program the
No.
first time.
No, you did good.
So that's the whole. It's very simple when you go look at it from start to finish. And I know you're skeptical, and you should be.
Well, I
Go
have to
ahead.
absorb
Yeah.
it. I have to absorb the information.
Yeah,
The-
because it's such a drastic change,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Well, it is, and the thing is, it's because it's like, you know, like we're talking about something that started off as you think that these children are coming back within a couple hours, turns into this wild ride that just seems ridiculous. Like it's like you know, sci-fi freaking movie going on here, and you're going, well, what's real? Who's telling the truth? If you if you say you're lying, that you had to lie in order to do this, and everyone thinks that Daniel's lying or Malehya's lying, and then you're like, so this was all about two kids that you're trying to
all about a panicked mother that was having problems and in a relationship and was scared for her kids and made a bad decision about how to protect her kids, and that's all, and had some friends, little friends, to help her like this. I believe this transporting in that and started off with a group of little girls that didn't realize they were trying to do something good for their friend, but they didn't realize what was going to go on here, and that's what I believe. Now I want the cops to move. Don't jerk around. You guys, these kids could be anywhere from. All right, these kids, these kids could be anywhere from a farmhouse outside of Tattamakush to Plattsburgh, New York. These kids could have gone through the big reserve in Ontario. I have a hard time saying it. The one that borders Canada and the United States. Now, these kids could be, but see, I have no ability. I don't have the ability. I don't have the resources, and find that. But I'm glad I'm glad Meadow's safe. And as far as these two kids, I'm 1,000%. See, the main reason I know these kids are alive is because people that cared about them are the ones that don't.
Okay, but they wouldn't tell you where the kids are, right?
No, of course, the kids are, I'll say 99% the kids are with natives.
Okay, on a reservation, do you think?
I don't believe they're on the Shubi reservation, because any band council that takes the risk on this kind of thing, it's too much of a risk for the whole community. I've talked to some natives, a lot of natives, not a lot, but I've talked to a few natives and found out some stuff about it. A band, and you can't hide that on a small reserve. You can't hide two kids on a small reserve, right? Because I mean, the natives are a very tight knit group.
Yeah, I get that.
And you can't hide two kids, especially with the publicity that's been going on here on a small reserve.
Yeah.
So that's another reason. If they're on a reserve, which I think they're, whether it's in the States or whether it's in Canada, they're on a larger. If they're on a reserve, they're on a larger reserve where they're easier to hide. And the Native community is very tight together, and
but
these two kids, that's why they were given. I believe that's why they were given. They tried to get them Indian status 3 or 4 times before they disappeared. So explain to me why. One little kick that started me off in that direction. Why would they give them Indian status the same day that they disappeared? If those kids were in the woods And the cops were saying they didn't. They really thought they were in the woods, and they didn't. The second day they were saying they were worried about them surviving. Well, why? If those kids were in the woods and they thought they weren't going to come out of there, why would they bother giving them Indian status the same day they got lost in the woods?
And this person that gave you that information, Darren, you 1 billion trillion % believe them.
Yep.
You said you traded for something, and obviously you're not going to say
a bigger number than I can state, more zeros than I can state as far as the percentage goes. This person is so rock solid. No way, man. 1,000%. And I've double checked her with 3. And I said her. I screwed up one part.
Yeah.
Now I double checked this person with 3 or 4 other sources that had knowledge right from. And in my family, and in their family, and in the Native community, and the whole thing, it broke it right open for me. That opened everything up for me, because I found out more. I was looking for a clue to the name of the person who was either driving the vehicle that picked up the kids at the end of the driveway. And like I said, I lost my first chance at that with Malehya getting shut down.
Yeah.
I'm good, and this is all going to end. It's all going to end in a few minutes. So anyway, that's I lost the clue when Malehya's family on the reserve strongly advised her not to leave the reserve and strongly advised her not to talk to me. So of course she's going to listen to her family.
Why did she risk Meadow though? Like if there was a
panic. Her mother and her Cindy. Now Cindy's going to be dirty at me probably, but her mother and her never got along. They don't get along.
Right.
Cindy hated Daniel. Daniel hated Cindy. So you got a mother-in-law and you guys. I imagine some of you know what that's like. In a family relationship. And by the way, that Belinda Gray, that woman, God love her. She's
absolutely.
God love her.
Absolutely.
God love her.
Well, see, because
listen, I can't keep up with this.
I know.
I'm taking a lot of heat right now just for staying on here this long. I'm disturbing people pretty bad.
Okay.
So if all I can say is, people, if you believe me, great. I hope we're friendly. If not, too bad. Go get some butthurt salve, because I proved to myself, most importantly, that the kids are alive. And I want the cops to move your goddamn fat asses, you sons of bitches. Get on the goddamn move. It's been 7 weeks. You guys have the resources. If you got to break the law, if you got to pull some strings, whatever you got to do, go find these goddamn kids. And I'm talking about the states too. There's American cops in on this too. So come on, boys! Jesus Christ! If you can't find these kids, nobody can.
Well, Charmaine doesn't feel like they could even made it over the border with like the Trump things. Charmaine,
there's no way. There's just no way that 2 kids without identification are going to get across the border, status or not, with the new government measures, millions of dollars put into border security to try to get rid of Trump's tariffs. You're telling me that, and not you, Derwin, I'm talking about the people in chat, but you're actually telling me that they're going to be allowed to cross the border with 2 little kids with this missing persons alert out, with 2 little kids that don't have documentation, maybe a birth certificate, but you still need the parental,
Now, if you remember what I said about that, that was the part where I said I couldn't 100% say that was the truth,
right.
But it was my belief. Now I'm going to tell you something, and Charmaine, I love you. I think you're purely genuine. Now I'm going to tell you something. I did a lot of traveling in Canada, not so much out of Canada over my life. And if you've ever been out through Alberta and BC, especially Alberta, down around the border, just close to Lethbridge, and there's some small towns around there, and along the prairies, there's farm roads. I can take. Me and my brother used to go up into Alberta. Now, they live in Alberta permanently now, both my older brothers. We could go to Alberta. We could buy cars, because the bodies were real good on them. We'd buy cars. My brother still does it. He can go down from Alberta on farm roads. What do they call them? There's a name for them. They call them out there. We can go back and forth in the United States with cars and trucks and anything we want right to this day.
I don't think so. Not with the new, especially with Danielle Smith in power here. She is serious about that border control. She's basically mini Trump. So that in Alberta is irrelevant because they didn't bring the kids to Alberta to cross this border.
No, it's
But-
not relevant at all. No. The Saskatchewan Reserve borders in Ontario is one of the biggest reserves in Canada. It borders Canada, half it's in, or not, maybe half it. There's a large percent of it in Ontario and a large percent of it in the States. Now, how do you think the illegal cigarettes get out of there? Most of the illegal cigarettes in Canada come from that reserve, and they go into the States and into Canada by the tractor trailer load.
I believe that it was that way for a very, very long time, but like this is in the last 6 months, Darren. Like this, the border security is.
I know it got worse with Trump. I know it got a little tighter with Trump.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna honestly, Darren, I kind of agree with you on this one.
Now remember, please, Charmaine, that I said that I'm not 100%
sure. Yeah.
No, I know.
And I'm saying they could be in a farmhouse in Tattamagush. Is one of my outside of Tattamagush. That was one of my first act, and they might have been there, and they might have got shuffled out of there, and they could be on the reserve in Shubenacadie, but also don't forget all natives don't live on reserves. So there's a lot of places they could have got shuffled around to in 7 weeks.
Darren, were you by chance? Can I ask you? Were you provided proof of life?
Was I provided proof of life?
Yeah.
I was provided proof of life by verifying the fact that they were picked up on the side of the road and taken under Malehya's and her friends' control.
Okay, so
there's no killers there. There's no killers in those bunch of girls.
Right. I was just wondering if by chance, like you actually got proof of life. But
that's
if
my proof.
that's your proof.
A big part of my proof is verified to me to be the total
right.
1,000% proof.
Yeah, and I know obviously you know what you know. We don't know what you know on this. Do you see this? The kids being brought back and to the forefront again? Like meaning
How long? How long?
I don't think by the time those kids, if they're ever allowed, how do I say that? Not so much allowed. If they're ever introduced to this area again, they'll be a lot older and they'll look a lot different. They'll have different names. They'll have different identifications. They'll never come back here. Not in that way. Not to the same families. Not around the same families they were away from. No.
This is crazy. It's crazy, right?
I know. I sound crazy. I know.
Well, I'm not saying you're crazy. I'm just saying this whole thing is crazy.
Oh, no problem. I'll say I'm crazy right now with it because it goddamn near drove me insane.
Yeah. So
that's my boost on it. If I could verify exactly where those kids were, I'd go get the major crime unit. I'd go get Jordan Boy, the head guy, one of the head guys, major crime unit. I'd say, "Come on, Arsehole, let's go for a drive." And I take him and we go get those kids.
Yeah.
But see, they're so far ahead of us now. They're so far ahead of anybody after 7 weeks. And they got native status on the first day. Malehya never said a word. Now I believe there's where the nut has to crack. There's where I believe the nut has to crack. Malehya, and I believe that'll happen. I believe Malehya is going to break, and she's going to incriminate herself in about probably 10 different ways. And I believe the Mounties and the major crime unit and that, I believe they'll solve the mystery right through to the end. But will they be? What will the results be? I don't really know. Malehya will probably Malehya might end up doing, if they want to really prosecute her hard, she'll probably end up doing 2 to 10 and being bankrupt the rest of her life, because if she gets sued for the expenses of one of the biggest searches in Canada, that's fine, but she can't go bankrupt, because when it's criminal or fraud, then you're not protected by any type of bankruptcy. And don't forget Daniel's in there too, because Daniel initially lied, right?
Right.
In the what seemed like to try to protect Malehya and that, Daniel initially lied back and forth about abduction and about a lot of stuff.
You saw Daniel today, right? Go ahead.
I saw Daniel early this morning, yeah.
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 Is she shitting bricks about all this or what? Do you know?
Well, I impressed the fact on him that you better be shitting bricks. Because the Daniel's big problem is that I believe Daniel's still under heavy surveillance. He can't move. He can't move without helicopters on him, without drones on him, without being followed. I believe they probably have what do you call it?
What, recording?
They probably got not a bug on his car. They can't listen, but I think they have something stuck
Tracker.
on his vehicles. That's right. What do you call GPS?
Yeah.
I believe they probably got a GPS on his vehicles and probably his family's vehicles too. And they probably got one on mine because everywhere I went in the last week, man, there was undercover cops, marked cars, a blonde girl. I don't know. I think she was a private eye taking pictures of me all the goddamn
She could have
time.
been.
And a couple of times I took Daniel for a drive, and we tried to go somewhere. We'd watch pretty careful because I wanted to have serious talks with him, right? And this blonde girl kept turning up, taking goddamn pictures of us. So, and I didn't care about that. I didn't care about me being exposed, and they already knew about Daniel, so I don't know what the purpose of that would have been. Big thrill. Yeah, I was with Dan because I had already told the major crime unit that I was in this.
Well,
And
I mean, you obviously would have told Daniel the same information that you're telling us on this, yeah?
Don't think I never lied to Daniel. Don't think I never lied to Daniel through this to get certain information
No.
out of him either.
So, but in
I lied to everybody at certain times.
Yeah.
I told the truth to people at certain times, but at certain times, I lied to people to get out of them what I needed to go to the next step to try to find out what really happened.
Right. So if you found out this information today with the person that you talked to, Darren, I mean, so how did Daniel take this then? Because if you say that you have 1,000 billion% clad reason to know that they're alive, like, so how's Daniel then feeling? Because obviously you would have given him this information that you're telling us.
No, I never told him this information. I just told him I was finally done with this.
Oh.
I said, I believe the kids are alive, Daniel. And I said, as far as me going after you for any kind of relationship problems, any kind of abuse, as far as your relationship between you and Malehya, that was none of my business. Malehya decided to stay with you, and no matter what happened there, that's over now anyway. But that's not. I'm not going to spend my life running around trying to prosecute or trying to punish some guy for
right.
or girl. I'm not going to try to punish Malehya or Daniel for any kind of mild abuse or anything like that or any kind of neglect. They both are guilty of neglect. There's another thing. See, there's going to be a lot of punishment come down the pipe if the authorities decide to do that. Because I mean, it's been proven that they were neglectful of these kids. That the kids were getting out early in the morning and playing around the yard, out by the road, and in the backyard in the fenced-in area, and up in the woods with the little cabin. So I mean, they got into the habit of sleeping in, and since the baby came along. Malehya got into the habit of the baby would wake up and then she'd get up and take care of whatever the baby needed to quiet it down, whether it was a little food or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the baby quieted down, they'd go back to bed. And I'll tell you, there was family members on their side that were very pissed off about that.
Mm-hmm.
I was told by one of their family members today that they would like me to take Daniel and beat the living shit out of him because he won't listen to them. And I just said, look, I'm getting a little too old for that thing, and to start with, that's none of my business. I'm not going to get in between the McKenzie family. I'm not. Besides that, if that happened, he'd go get his uncles, and then we'd be into it with a whole bunch of them. And I was already into it with them years ago when we were younger, and we made it through it. Nobody got killed, and we're actually friendly, for the last 20 years.
Does Cindy then and Patty, like, do they know about, like, obviously, I mean, you can only answer what you can answer, but do they know about all this? Because you obviously talked with somebody, whoever it is, without you saying it, of course. But you said that you thought that Cindy had.
They don't know about the particulars of this yet. I'm going to tell them the same thing I'm telling you, that I'm done with this.
Okay.
That the kids are alive. That I'm done with this, and I'm just going to reassure them that the kids are alive. Malehya already knows the kids are alive. So why I'm not going to have to go tell. I will tell my family because Malehya's. Now, don't get me wrong. The last day, I don't know if Malehya's been arrested. There was some stuff about that Malehya would have to be arrested because Meadow got taken away. Well, I can't verify that. I don't think she was. But I think she, as far as I know, she's still on the res. But I'm going to have to go talk to my family. Sure, I'm going to have to go talk to Patty and Debbie and Cindy, and privately, I'll tell them the same thing. I'll tell them what I know happened. And I'll tell them how I know it happened, but I will not tell them about this person and about these two people that gave me this information today, because if I do break this confidence of what I learned today,
right? I
mean, don't forget now, this is a rough little place at times, and I'm a little scared of getting into over my head.
Yeah.
So I'll tell my family. I'll tell them that, listen, you guys, the kids are alive. I'm so sure of that, and I'll tell you why they're alive. I'll tell you, and I know they'll listen, and I'll tell them everything that I'm telling you that I told you, but I will not reveal I will not reveal the source of this final information to anybody.
Yeah. Now, Malehya did talk.
I'm sorry if you can't understand why, or you don't.
No, of course. I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, just letting you say whatever it is. Like at the end of the day, regardless, people are going to take this. I know that this is going to go shit ass sideways, and I know for a fact, right? I know for a fact, Darren, and we know if you're a strong person and believe what you believe, absolutely, you will know your truth, right? But I know for a fact that this is going to come off as that you're crazy and kooky, and that this is. You know that, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, just because we know the internet, we know how it works, and this is going to be a hard pill to swallow. Absolutely, right?
Yep.
So you're going to be under attack for sure after this, right? Well,
they can attack me all they want on the internet, or they can attack me all they want in a lot of ways. But if they want to attack me in a certain way, well, they might be making a mistake, because don't forget, it's a rough little country down here, and I got some pretty rough goddamn friends myself. I'm an old man, but
I wasn't talking physically, but you're like the shade bombs are going to happen for sure. That's just a given.
Well, who cares?
Yeah, but if
like you say about your channel, you just get information, you disseminate it.
Absolutely.
And you don't care. All your job is to disseminate information, and you don't care. You get criticism, and you get shit like that.
Yeah.
Right? So if you can handle it, I'm pretty sure I can, Darren. So
I know.
Let them go, because I'll tell you, I believe a lot of the people that do that kind of thing are idiots, and I really don't have much value in idiots. I don't want them for my friends. I don't want them to be around me. I don't care. So, and as far as what they say, I really have no value in it. They can say whatever they want, and I can honestly, if I hear it and see, I can laugh at it. I don't have enough confidence in myself to just laugh at them and say, carry on, bro.
Well, I know you're a strong person, absolutely.
No, I'm not, but I'm ignorant, I guess.
I mean, this whole thing with you has been, regardless, was you wanted the answers for Jack and Lilly. That was the bottom line of it. You didn't owe anything to us, to the internet, or anybody.
What other motive could I have? I've never been on.
No, you want.
I've never been on public display. I've never been.
Right. Yeah.
I've had a computer for years and watched a lot of this stuff for years.
Yeah.
I've never communicated with any of these podcasts, and I have had no need to, no urge to, no nothing. It's been purely entertainment purposes for me when I'm bored to watch some stuff on these podcasts and watch the stuff on YouTube and that. I have no. The only reason I started with Dolly Vision.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the main reason Dolly Vision got the first call on this. He was the only one I could find that put the phone number up.
I know, you said. I get it. And you know what? I want to say that's from Dolly's channel to this channel, and for hopefully other people out there, regardless. However they want to take it. It's family speaking. They can take it however they want. They will twist and turn whatever they want to.
The bottom line is, if the people that I can't satisfy on here now, as far as this situation goes, I'm sorry, but I satisfied myself, and as far as I'm concerned, that's the most important thing to me. And I feel joy that I know know these kids are alive and being
Yeah.
cared for.
Well,
There's a question in chat, Sunny. Kelly was wondering if he has talked to Cindy lately, and I don't know what the point of that question is.
Yeah,
But
I messaged Cindy yesterday, and I talked to her on the phone voice-wise the day before yesterday. And before this, Cindy and I were actually we had a meeting scheduled for tonight, because the information that I needed,
right.
Cindy was another one who possibly could have supplied a name.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to tell you an interesting little thing. No, I'm not. Listen, I got to stop. I've got to stop this, because my woman's getting ready to come through the door and blow my brains right out, because this has been so irritating to her. Right? Her nerves don't take this, and my nerves are bad over it. And,
Okay.
and I mean, her son is calling her and telling her, for Jesus' sake, to shut me up, because he's getting people around here recognize my picture when that other didn't put my picture up, right?
Somebody.
And I'm well known in this community. I ran an excavation business for 30 years. I know a lot of people, and a lot of people know me. And the people that there's always people that don't like you. Well, it snowballed pretty good. So and like I say, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to do. I've gone as far as I can.
Yeah.
And I think I got second place is what I got. First place would have been bringing those kids home, giving them a goddamn bowl of ice cream, and then calling somebody and saying, listen, we got the kids, whoever's in authority here, cops, CPS, whoever's in authority here, for Jesus' sake, come and get those kids. But that was my first, that would have been the winning line. That would have been a big one. That would have been a real good day. But I never made it. I'm sorry I never made it, but I never made it.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, Darren, like I said, you know your own truth regardless. And just like me, I'm strong enough to know the truth of the truth, right? And again, I don't have to justify myself to anyone besides myself.
There's a good idea. There's a good idea. The chat, somebody just said something about Belinda and custody. Well, no, maybe that's not a good idea, because her young fella, Sullivan,
Cody,
there's some question marks about him. So,
but
Belinda should definitely have visitation, if she could get visitation of Meadow and that Belinda. I think from what I've seen and heard of Belinda, I think Belinda's a pretty nice woman. I think she's pretty
absolutely, but she obviously has no genealogical attachment to Meadow at all, right?
No, but when you love a kid, when you love somebody, you love them. And she loved Malehya mainly. That's her.
Well, she never got to see. Go ahead.
What's that? You said again?
No, I was going to say she hasn't even seen Meadow.
Her and Malehya, before Meadow was born, and not Cindy, but before Meadow was born, Malehya used to take the kids and go visit Belinda regularly. Right. So what happened was, I believe that once Meadow was born, I don't think Belinda was, and this is a guess on my part, pure guess. I don't think Belinda was overly fond, put it that way, of Daniel. So Belinda, I don't think felt comfortable going and visiting them, or she would have.
Well,
and that's only a guess on my part.
Yeah,
she'd
actually already answered that one. She said to Malehya, we showed those messages yesterday because Belinda given them to me, and she said, like, why didn't you just give us your address? And then she said, because Daniel didn't want nobody to have it. They didn't want him to have it because she wanted to see the babies.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm absolutely done now.
Yeah, that's.
I thank you all.
No.
I mean, you won't see me on any of this shit anymore. I don't like it. And I don't have anything to contribute.
Hopefully we see you in chat anyways. It would be terrible if this was our last.
Peace. Walk with Jesus Christ in faith, and I'll try it too. Everybody, do what you got to do.
Okay. Thank you, Darren. Thank you. Oh, and he's gone on there. Okay. If I didn't need a drink before, I definitely did drink now.
Hope you're all having a good relaxing Sunday. I will see you all next week. I have another Darin Geddes video in the making for you all. So see you soon. Take care.